Light is the single most important factor in plant health, yet it's also the most misunderstood. Many people assume that placing a plant near a window is enough, but the truth is that most indoor spaces provide far less light than plants need to grow properly. Even a bright room to the human eye can be extremely dim from a plant's perspective, because plants measure light in terms of intensity and duration, not how bright the room looks to us. When a plant isn't getting enough light, it doesn't collapse overnight. Instead, it sends subtle signals, signals that most people overlook until the plant is already struggling. Understanding these early signs allows you to correct the problem before the plant becomes weak, leggy, or permanently damaged. Today, we're going to decode those signals so you can give your plants the light they truly need to thrive. Stretching and legginess. The first and most obvious sign of low light is stretching, also known as legginess. When a plant doesn't receive enough light, it begins to grow tall and thin, reaching desperately toward the nearest light source. The spaces between the leaves become noticeably longer, the stems become weaker, and the plant loses its compact, healthy shape. This happens because the plant is prioritizing vertical growth in an attempt to reach more light, rather than producing strong, sturdy foliage. If your plant is leaning dramatically toward a window, producing long, fragile stems, or growing in a lopsided direction, it's telling you that the current light level is not enough. Rotating the plant regularly helps distribute light more evenly, but the real solution is increasing the overall light exposure. Moving the plant closer to a bright window or providing supplemental grow lights can restore compact growth and prevent further stretching. Slow or stunted growth. The second sign of insufficient light is slow or stunted growth. Plants rely on light to produce energy through photosynthesis, and without enough of it, they simply cannot grow. If your plant hasn't produced new leaves in months, or if the new leaves are noticeably smaller, thinner, or weaker than the older ones, low light is almost always the cause. Many people mistake this for a watering or fertilizer issue, but no amount of water or nutrients can compensate for a lack of light. A plant without adequate light is essentially running on an empty battery. Increasing the light level often jumpstarts growth within a few weeks, especially during the active growing season. Once the plant receives enough energy, it begins producing larger, healthier leaves and stronger stems, showing you that the light adjustment was exactly what it needed. Yellowing and leaf drop. The third sign of low light is yellowing leaves, especially on the lower part of the plant. When a plant doesn't get enough light, it prioritizes the leaves closest to the light source and sacrifices the ones below. These lower leaves gradually turn pale, then yellow, and eventually fall off. This is the plant's way of conserving energy by shedding leaves that are no longer useful. If the top of your plant looks fine, but the bottom is thinning out, it's a classic symptom of low light. This pattern is especially common in plants like pothos, philodendrons, dracaenas, and rubber plants. Moving the plant to a brighter location or adding a grow light can stop the leaf drop almost immediately. Once the plant receives enough light, it no longer needs to sacrifice its lower leaves, and new growth becomes fuller and more balanced. Soil that stays wet too long. The fourth sign of insufficient light is soil that stays wet for too long. This might seem unrelated, but it's actually one of the most reliable indicators of low light. Plants in low light use water very slowly because they aren't actively growing or photosynthesizing at a normal rate. As a result, the soil remains damp for much longer than expected, sometimes staying wet for a week or more. This creates the perfect environment for root rot, even if you're watering carefully. If you find yourself watering far less often than you thought you would, or if the soil feels wet long after watering, your plant is likely struggling with low light. Improving the light level helps the plant use water more efficiently, strengthens the root system, and reduces the risk of rot. In many cases, simply increasing the light can correct moisture problems without changing your watering routine at all. Faded or dull leaf color. The fifth and final sign of low light is faded or dull leaf color. Healthy plants in good light have vibrant, rich color because they are producing plenty of chlorophyll. But in low light, the leaves lose their intensity. Green leaves may become pale or washed out, and variegated plants may revert to solid green because they are trying to increase their ability to capture light. Variegation requires energy to maintain, and when light is limited, the plant abandons the lighter patterns to maximize photosynthesis. If your plant's colors are fading, losing contrast, or becoming dull, it's a clear sign that the light level is too low. Giving the plant brighter, indirect light can gradually restore its color over time, although variegated plants may take several weeks to regain their patterns. Give your plants the light they deserve. Understanding these signs allows you to take action before your plant declines. Light is not optional. It is the foundation of plant health. When you give your plants the light they truly need, everything else becomes easier. They grow faster, stay greener, resist disease, and reward you with the kind of lush, vibrant growth that makes indoor gardening so satisfying. Most plant problems that seem mysterious or complicated often trace back to one simple issue: not enough light. Once you correct that, your plants finally have the energy to thrive. And when you learn to read these early signals, you'll be able to fix low light issues long before your plant begins to struggle. Thank you for spending your time with me today. I hope this video gave you clear, practical guidance you can use right away. If you found it helpful, take a moment to support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. It helps more than you might think, and it tells YouTube that this is the kind of content worth sharing with others. If you want to keep learning and improving your plant care skills, make sure to turn on notifications so you don't miss the next video. I upload consistently, and each video is designed to give you real, useful information without any fluff. If you have questions, ideas, or a topic you want me to cover next, leave a comment below. I read every single one. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.